Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It's Palestine here. Welcome to my channel. It's a nice Friday morning, and we're going to be going swimming shortly. And I haven't tested my blood sugar yet, and I haven't had any breakfast yet. So I've got to make this video shorter than normal. But I've got lots of things that I want to talk about. But in this video, what I want to say is yesterday I found out that somebody who attended the church that I go to has died. So a lot of older people tend to go to church, and I think it's because they know that they're going to meet their Maker soon. So they know that they want to get right with God for when they meet their Maker. I remember when I asked my mom why she started going back to church, and that's what she said to me. She said it was because she knew she was going to meet her Maker soon, and that's why she was going to church. And maybe that's why I go to church, because, I want to be right with God when my time comes, and so maybe that's why I go to church as well. And so basically, this man who died, his name was Chris. And recently what happened is they have a publication called The Newt at the church that I go to. And they distribute this publication to all of the houses in the area that the church supports. Because I go to a Church of England church. And a Church of England is not quite Catholic, but you have a communion every week. Every week at the Church of England, you have a communion, and you have like two Bible readings. I think it's 2 Bible readings and a sermon, and then you have singing, and you have a communion, and that lasts about an hour. But so basically, in this new publication, they actually did a whole spread on him, and talking about his life, because he had been an entertainer. He'd been an entertainer, and he had, I think he was maybe a ventriloquist or something like that. But he had been an entertainer, and so they showed pictures of him and his wife, and they showed pictures of him entertaining. He was 90 years old. So that meant he would have been born in 1936. I know he was quite skinny, didn't have a weight problem. And somebody was telling me, my autistic friend really, was telling me that a lot of older people, they stop eating. And so he was quite thin. He had blonde curly hair. I don't know if it was his real hair or he was wearing a wig. I don't know. And he had to walk with a stick. I'm not sure exactly where he lived, but obviously he lived close by because he went to the church that I go to. And so in this newspaper article, I didn't read every single word of it, but I scanned through it, reading little bits of it and everything. And so I think it was nice that in this article, they wrote an article about him just before he passed away. I know I don't want them writing an article about me. I know I don't want to participate in the church that much. Because, if I was to get really participate in the church, then somebody might say something. And obviously, I haven't had a very good life, and that's why I started this channel. But obviously, when I got cancer, I changed the tone of the channel. But I haven't had a good life, and I don't want anybody writing an article about me and saying all the rubbish things that happened in my life. But Chris seemed to me like a nice man. He was married. He was a Christian. He was an entertainer. And I don't know when his wife passed away, but obviously he was a widower. And so I saw him every week, and he seemed nice enough. I just noticed he was really skinny. He had blonde curly hair, and I don't know if it was his hair or a wig. And he had to walk with a stick. And what happened was, I think I mentioned it, that we went to the funeral of this lady called Abby, and this was in June. And so I had to rush to get to the funeral, and it was such a hot day that I was sweating and everything, and I had problems getting there. I won't go into details. But so I sat in front of him, at the funeral. Well, he collapsed. And so everybody, what they had done was they had taken a glass of water and put it on my chair. And so when I moved my chair, the glass of water fell. I mean, who's going to do that? Who's going to put a glass of water on a chair? But that's what they did. And so basically he collapsed, and he was really skinny, so it didn't take much work. He sat on the chair, and they lifted the chair and took it out of the way. And then what they did was they took him to a couch. They had a cafe area, and they took him to a couch, and he was laying on the cafe area. And basically somebody had posted something on the church Facebook page asking how he was, and somebody else posted saying that he was okay, that he was really embarrassed about what happened at the funeral, and he never went to church after that. And then maybe it was a couple of weeks later, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, it was his birthday, and he was 90. And so they said that he couldn't be at the church, but he had a cake. And I guess somebody had brought a cake to the church, or maybe he had given people money for the cake. I don't know. But it was his 90th birthday, and they said he can't be with us, but he's got a cake that he would like everybody to eat. And I didn't know why he couldn't be at the church. I didn't really ask a lot of questions. I knew that he had collapsed at the funeral, but I thought that he was okay after that. And then I found out that he'd been collapsing several times in the street and stuff like that. And so they took him to the hospital to find out why he was collapsing. I don't know what the outcome of the hospital was, but the hospital said that he could not live on his own anymore. So they put him in a nursing home. And so they put him in this nursing home. And that was a few weeks ago, because I was serving tea and coffee the first Sunday of the month, I believe. And I asked where he was and what happened to him. And that's when I was told that he had been put in a nursing home, that he was told that he could not live on his own anymore. And I think that his family had gone to visit him at the nursing home, and some of the people from the church had gone to visit him at the nursing home. But I didn't know him personally, so I couldn't go visit him because I didn't know him personally. I just knew he was at the church. And then yesterday, because we get an email every week about what's going on at the church. And so yesterday, I received this church email, and the church email said that he had passed away. So I don't know what he passed away from. I suspect that it was just old age, because he was 90 years old. And so I think he had a good life. I hope that wherever it is that he's gone, I hope it's a good place, that he's with his wife. I hope that he's with his loved ones now, wherever it is that he's with his wife, wherever it is that he is. And so that's just letting you know our mortality. And so, churches are getting smaller because people don't want to go to church. And most of the people who go to the church are older because they want to be right with God when their time comes. And this guy, Chris, his time definitely came. He had a good life. I mean, they did the article about him. He had a good life. And I don't think he had any major health problems. I think that his body just wore out. and he died, and I don't know what he died from. So I hope I can go to the funeral. If the funeral's in the afternoon, or if it's in a day that I'm not working, I definitely will try to attend the funeral. So that's it for this video. I've let you know that this man in my church has died. I don't know what he died from. I think it was old age. And I'm going to try to attend this funeral. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. And I've got lots more to talk about. So I will be communicating with you soon.